So, but it was nice, a nice time, and it's.
So I have to tell a little story. So when I first started the town manager's job, we were doing the half-turn water line, and I will tell you by far, our crews, and I won't name names, I was down there every day refereeing disagreements, and so that was my other great, jump into town manager. So the fact of how hard they worked together and, had their little awards for each other was very rewarding.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. So, all right. Anything else, Lisa?
No.
Okay. I don't see that we have any old business, new business. Discussion and action to approve the November 2024 check register.
A lot of bills that we were paying for some of our grants, so obviously it was a lot of money going out, but we were getting money back in, just as a note there.
Make a motion to approve the November 2024 check register.
I'll second.
Motion made by Tim, second by Sean. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Okay, 14B, discussion and action to provide 4R animals with letters of support for grant applications and creating a collaborative relationship that will go directly towards support of the Rangeley Animal Shelter.
So moved.
Well,
Before you even talk.
I wanted to talk.
I read the letter.
I did too.
right.
I talked to her on Saturday.
Yeah. I think I know most of you, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelly Christian. I've lived in Rangeley going on 40 years. I've been a nurse up at the hospital for 20 of those years. And, my husband and I raised our family here. So I've been around for a minute. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about what I can do for you rather than what you can do for us. So I'm speaking to you on behalf of 4R Animals, formerly Furry Friends. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're dedicated to improving the lives of the animals in our community and supporting the shelter how we can. We have undergone a change in board members, or we're currently undergoing a change in board members, as well as some different membership changes. So I want to let you know a little bit about our organization, and we have several key priorities. And this will play into the letter of support here very quickly. So one of our priorities is securing grant funding. So I'm actively working to procure grant funding specifically for spay and neuter programs. And these funds will supplement the town budget and offset some of the cost incurred with spaying and neutering the animals down at the shelter. Our second priority is to provide financial support. So as a group, we aim to provide resources such as food, straw for bedding for the animals in the winter, or other essential supplies, again, to offset that financial burden for the town. Increasing visibility is a priority. We're committed to boosting the visibility of the Rangeley Animal Shelter, Town of Rangeley Animal Shelter, through our website, through social media, and other online platforms. And just by the way, we have a website, www.4ranimals.org. So the number 4, letter R, animals. And the 4 R's are for Rangeley, Rescue, Refuge, and Rehome. So that's what the 4 R's are all about. Our goal is to promote shelter programs, events, adoption events, and opportunities, and to reach a wider audience and encourage community involvement. We want to also strengthen relationships and foster cooperation with the town of Rangeley. So those are some of our goals, our priorities. And I just want to give you a quick update on what we've done so far, because I feel like we've accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. I joined 4R Animals earlier this summer, and one of the things that I'm working on is networking with other shelters, larger shelters, shelters that have more resources and a bigger audience for adoption than what we have. And I had a really productive conference call with 2 representatives from the Animal Assistance Foundation out of Lakewood, Colorado, and they focus on connecting small, rural shelters with vital resources. That includes grant opportunities and connecting them with the larger organizations, as I said. They're partial to rural communities that don't have a lot of resources, and I really like that. They did put me in contact with an organization in Glenwood Springs called the Colorado Animal Rescue, or the acronym is CARE. So the reason this is important is we had a stray running at large that was brought into our shelter. He had a ruptured cruciate ligament, 6-month-old lab mix, right? So a cruciate ligament repair on a dog, and I know from personal experience, and please no judgment, but it runs upward of $3,000, which is why I have not yet retired. But it can be a long, expensive process on a dog. And as expected, there was little interest in people donating for a stray at the shelter that needed a $3,000 surgery. I mean, that's completely understandable. So because we're a no-kill shelter, you know, you hate to see a dog languishing at the shelter. He was really pretty unadoptable. He had a great personality. However, he did have an injury. So I connected with a lady by the name of Maggie at the CARE Foundation in Glenwood Springs, and they have a lot of resources, including medical resources. So after a lot of back and forth and a lot of discussion, Maggie and the group in Glenwood Springs agreed to take Raymond, our injured lab mix, and then they went on our website and we had featured all of the adoptable animals. So we had a couple of senior cats that really hadn't been adopted out. Nobody was real interested. We also had a little dog that was also a senior dog. Well, they took all 4 animals. So we were able to move 4 animals from our shelter. So I felt like that was really a win, and just that networking and communicating with different shelters. It's nice to have those different connections. That helps us. That benefits all of us in the long run. Just to let you know, we did have some money that was donated to our cause. We wanted to be very transparent about that. So that money was used for the Amazon custom wish list for the town of Rangeley Animal Shelter. And we posted that on Facebook and on our website so that people knew that we weren't just squandering the funds that they had donated.
We got some boxes too.
Okay, great, all right. We've also had different fundraisers. We had our fundraiser at the craft show on Saturday where I ran into Tim. We raised almost $400 at that fundraiser. We have also maintained a visible presence at Septemberfest and Oktoberfest. And really what we're trying to get out there is that we are supporting the town of Rangeley, the animal shelter. That's our goal, and to create that really collaborative relationship. Because, I'm sure you've heard the old cliche, you can attract a lot more flies with honey than you can vinegar. And I believe that if you work collaboratively, you waste a lot less time, you accomplish a lot more. So that's really what our goals. So now getting back to the topic at hand, on December 15th, that marks the opening of the Colorado Pet Overpopulation Fund grant cycle. This is funded by the license plate revenue from the paws-themed license plates. They have all the animal paws on them. And this will be my first grant opportunity. So fingers crossed, this is a new venture for me. But we did hire someone to help us navigate that process. She just kind of put a packet together because we don't have unlimited funds. And so we paid her to put kind of a guideline together for me. And then I will start pursuing that. That closes in March. There's always that potential I won't be successful. But there are other grant opportunities. So we'll just keep, plodding along until we can get some of those grant funds here. I will be working closely with Lisa so that we can determine how we want to execute those funds, how that will look, and move forward from there. So I just want to request that the mayor and the council members consider drafting a letter of support for our efforts. The letter would be instrumental when submitting grant requests for the Spay and Neuter Initiative. and for any future projects that I may seek grant funding for. We could even move forward into capital grant projects. I mean, that's really my ultimate goal. The early grant opportunities, however, are going to be essential to our success. So we'll start small, we'll build from there. By proving our commitment to this cause, we hope to expand our outreach and create new avenues for resources, as I said, such as capital funding, which will allow us to grow and better serve the community. There's, as I said, that potential that we may not be successful, but we'll keep trying. So in closing, the primary goal of For Our Animals is to assist the town of Rangeley Animal Shelter both financially and through collaborative efforts on future projects. I'm requesting the support of the mayor and council members for this collaboration, which would be invaluable in furthering the work we do for the animals at the shelter. Thank you very much. I would entertain any questions you might have of me, and I do look forward to working with you in the future.
When does your group meet?
We will be meeting on the 16th of this month. Typically, we meet the last Monday of every month, but because of the holidays, that kind of threw us off our regular schedule. We meet at the gathering place, is what it's called.
Ty, myself, Caitlin, always, there's usually two of us, but one of us is always attendance at those meetings.
Well, so this April will be, I've anew on this council. I've only been 3 years on this, and your support and your effort is an extreme breath of fresh air, and this is the kind of help we need. And as a councilman and as a resident, I really thank you for going through all this, and absolutely, I love it, and I'll second
Thank you.
his.
Yeah, my motion still stands.
Kelly, thanks for coming in and telling us exactly what you have.
100%.
What you guys have going on, because it's refreshing to hear the positive side of what you
Right.
guys are trying to accomplish and,
Right.
and where you're going and the work that you're wanting to do with in conjunction with the town of Rangeley. So it's really a breath of fresh air with some of the issues that have gone on in the last 3 or 4 months. And so,
Right.
and I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us. And it's a breath of fresh air. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Kelly
it.
He was really instrumental in the one little doggie that needs, not only is it the surgery, but the care afterwards. We could not have let that dog have surgery and cared for him or her, I don't remember if it's him.
Yeah, it was the man.
At the shelter, because they are, I mean, if anybody that's had those ligaments torn, they have to be really restricted afterwards.
It's
too.
so much work.
That was
So much
really
work.
a great thing that, Kelly was very instrumental in doing, so.
Well, and I also volunteer down there just a couple of times a week. I don't have a lot of time, but I enjoy going down, and I feel like I can't really stand up here and speak to you with much insight unless I'm actually down there and seeing the animals. So I just feel like this is really a positive way to really connect with the town. I know you guys have a lot on your plates. People are needing a lot of resources these days, and so if I can offset a little bit of that, as I said, fingers crossed, say your prayers that these grants will work out for me, because this is a new venture for me, but I'm still going to give it, a good go. So,
I pulled up your website. It looks pretty good.
isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's really nice.
Is there anything
I did
else
not
you
do
need
that.
from us? Don't hesitate to reach
Okay.
out. And
Okay.
we're going to be on board with this letter. I think we already have a draft of it.
Okay, great. Thank
in
you
our
so much.
packet.
All
Well,
right.
I hate to keep going on.
Oh,
but
that's okay.
I really believe that had the town, and it's my fault for not being more involved with it as a citizen, but if the town would have heard the spill in the past, like, I really think those collection plates for that dog would have been stuffed to the brim, and it's just really nice to hear the end goal with your group.
And as far as the one dog goes, I mean, I'm pretty pragmatic. I just felt like trying to get that kind of money from people during these economic times was just not realistic. And so that's when I started reaching out to other places like Glenwood, they've got lots of resources and they have a much larger audience than we do. So if we can keep those connections really healthy, then I think we have a lot of potential moving down the road.
Thank you very
All
much
right,
for your
thanks.
time.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Any other discussion? So we have a motion made by Tim, seconded by Todd. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 14C, discussion and action to approve the liquor license renewal for SLJ Family Enterprises, DBA Geo's Family Dining.
I have really bad anxiety, so just. Obviously, this is, I think, my second or third time coming and renewing the license, but I guess I never really had my head above water enough to understand what your guys' decision-making factor is in approving these licenses. And obviously, my economic culture as far as the restaurants in town is changing pretty dramatically. And I have had a lot of people in town come to me. I mean, people come to me a lot with ideas of, what you could do, what you should do. One of those main topics right now with Coach's closing is potentially going for a full liquor license. I have no intention of doing that. But when it comes to just my beer and wine license, what are, I guess, the factors that you guys look for in determining whether or not that is approved if I'm handling resources responsibly, properly training my employees, not over-serving. I didn't know if there was something beyond just kind of the more common elements of obviously just being responsible with the service of alcohol, maintaining the proper liability and things like that, or if there were other things potentially under the surface that maybe I needed to be aware of also. Obviously, you guys have never denied me before, but I definitely do feel a mounting pressure now with some of my fellow businesses kind of crumbling around me. And so to just make sure that I really have a full compass of this and anything else that might be required of me, if you could just help fill in any other information.
So I'm on my side. So we always get a recommendation from our police department if they've had any problems. So everything you're doing must be doing the right thing because we got nothing as far as negative and all that. So I'm not sure. Are you concerned that we might not approve it, or is it?
It's not necessarily, and to be frank, it cost me like $700 a year to renew the license. I doubt I even make that in revenue, but because I do, and obviously it's not a mandate of my license, but it says they're right there in my title.
Well,
it's
and
Geo's
most of
Family
that goes to
Dining.
the state of Colorado.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
great.
aware. Of
Yeah,
that.
a huge chunk of that goes to the
Yeah,
state
it's
of
about
Colorado.
Just
You
like
said
everything
that.
else.
I think just you being knowledgeable about those things, Sam, is really the biggest part of it.
And it would just be a change in your license with the state. Since I'm fairly new too, we could talk to the people at the state. They're awesome at the state level for liquor licensing. And it would probably be just like almost not a change in premises type of thing, because if you were to do that, it would just expand your license, but I don't know if the amount would go up because it's kind of encapsulated with those amounts.
Yeah.
But we could totally go down that avenue and talk with the
At
state.
least
As of right now, I have no
no,
intention
too
of
much on
that.
your document.
It's too much liability. A lot of my servers are young. I don't trust over-serving. And again, it's right there in the title. It's Geo's Family Dining. Half the time my son is in the office holding people hostage on the phone. And even, it's not a mandate of my license, but I'm sure as most of you know, because a lot of you dine with me, I do even have a 3-drink limit every now and then for like roar or special events. I will up that. But even with that $700 renewal, I'm maybe breaking even at that point because that's not my primary focus. But that being said, some of, not necessarily backlash, but some of the more critical comments that I get, especially now with Coach's closing, is, well, we need somewhere in town. Like, are you going to do this? We need somewhere in town. So I never want to say never, because obviously even in the last 3 years that I've taken over, I've already done things that I swore that I would never do. But just to, I guess, like I said, have more of an understanding of, I guess I could have thought in my own mind that obviously a heavy police presence wouldn't bode well for me, which I think gratefully the police have only been called twice, and those were for disgruntled customers, not anything alcohol related. But just to know that going forward, obviously you don't want to take all the eggs out of your basket and know that if I were to end up somehow, having a change of heart and deciding to pursue what you guys kind of look at in regards to allowing those within town.
So, and another thing, me personally, I mean, I look at not only what everybody has to say, recommendation, but what's the benefit? And there is a benefit to it. I mean, I know drinking's drinking, but some people need a good place to go and chat and talk to people, and that's why I think they want to do things like that. So I would just personally, again, I would support it if you decided to do that, because I think it's not a bad thing for us to have something like that.
I definitely agree that there is absolutely a need for it in town. I guess I just think of, my own personal bandwidth.
Good.
And obviously, I did take over from John, who had the benefit of having Sandy, and then they had the benefit of having me as a manager. And I am just one person that's also a wife and a mom, and I do sit on the lodging tax board for town here as well, not to mention the caterings. I'm a member of the Elks. There's only so much of me to go around, and I understand that with this, it would require a lot of dedication and overlook and really staying on top of my servers, maintaining that they're trained, which they are all tips trained. They all know how to react accordingly. So it's just not for selfish reasons. It's just not necessarily something I'm looking into. Right now, we do still have the benefit of the pub. I don't know how many people actually still go there, but it's there. I enjoyed myself having a drink or two with dinner, but I don't believe that anybody needs to have more than 3 or 4 beers just at a local dinner.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's not saying that it never would happen, because never say never, but at this juncture right now, I have no interest. I'm more focusing on dealing with the inflow that I'm receiving now that Coaches is closed. So.
And if you ever feel like you have a change of heart or want to know more before you have that change of heart, come see me. We'll talk to the liquor at the state and get those questions answered. They're very good, like I said. So even just to be knowledgeable, they can be like, lay it all out, and you'll be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, information is key, definitely. Because honestly, I was hesitant even pursuing the beer and wine license. I don't know if you guys remember, but Emily was kind of the one that prompted me to do it. She's one of my servers, and it's like, everyone keeps asking me for Bud Light. I'm like, yeah, but it's not really worth it for me to pay all that money when I make like $50 a day on beer.
Right.
But understanding that sometimes like the customer experience has to sometimes outweigh some of the monetary gain that you get from it. But with that in my mind, and with some of the changes that my establishment is facing right now, I just wanted to have a more thorough understanding that, again, should that be something I have a change of heart on in future, what from you guys would be required of me, not necessarily just at the state level, but at the town or the county level. But from what it sounds like, hopefully I'm doing everything okay, and it will approve my liquor license.
Well, what we see in our packet is a letter from the police department, from Ty. He writes up a little thing about your business. It says it's all good. He recommends we approve it. And we basically go off that. If you decide to change the scope, then he'll be down there, and Lisa, and then we'll be involved. And by the time it gets to us, it will just be, we'll read the recommendations.
So pretty much don't call the police and keep Ty happy. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, liquor enforcement can show up regardless of our oversight and just check on you anytime. So obviously, I think you already are a responsible business owner, and I mean, I think I could speak for the town council. They're all very business proactive. We want you guys to succeed.
100%.
Just one more quick add-on. I don't think any of us here bring our personal opinions.
Experiences.
To that decision. If it makes it to us, and if the town and if the administrators are good with it, I don't remember any nays from any council member.
No, I never would suspect that any personal bias, would be brought into that. Some people are dry, some people enjoy a beer, but like I said, I just wasn't sure outside of just the normal common knowledge. Don't be irresponsible with this. What are there any behind? Like, for example, I didn't know the police report was taken into factor. So just for me to have the full understanding, we're getting ready to kind of go through a pretty big revamp right now, just with all the different changes going on. Things have to change. You got to modify, adjust with the times, adjust with the clientele. So this meeting kind of came at a good time for me to just really make sure I have an understanding of this and any potential progress should I decide to move forward going with something different, which would take a lot. But just making sure that I really thoroughly understood it, because I don't feel like I ever asked
those questions in the beginning. I just was always hopeful that it was going to happen, and then I realized it started causing me anxiety, wondering what if it wasn't going to happen. So just now that I understand, this is more to put me at ease and just make sure that I understand exactly kind of what your guys' process is in order for these applications to be approved.
I have an idea. If it was gonna be denied, you would already know it.
Have some.
Yeah, you'd have some indication.
I was gonna say, I feel like you might think that, but I have about 15,000 tabs open, and all of them have air screens.
Yeah.
So unless you come and look me dead in my eyes and tell me something, and even then, when you look away from me, I'm on to the next thing. So I never really know, and again, I do have really bad anxiety, so I always kind of get in my head about those things, and like these meetings always make me a little bit nervous. I'm like, man, I just wrote those checks, just making sure. But yeah, just more understanding is more key, and with the revamp going forward, it obviously leaves some opportunity on the table, and I understand what would be needed from me. But it sounds like just kind of keep doing what I'm doing, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So.
And if you give us about 30 seconds, your anxiety will disappear.
I think you're doing great. I mean, honestly, your voice hasn't crackled or anything. Great job.
Well, and it's hard because I talk in front of large groups all the time, but I'm normally just, giving the spiel about all the food that I made them, and then I get to leave, but it's not necessarily.
Yeah, you'll definitely get a pass.
Well, I know.
We've already.
Yeah, well, when I was there, I bartended your guys' town meeting,
Yep.
and then I have a couple caterings at the library last night. I got Sam coming up this weekend, the bank. I got my Christmas catering, so I feed quite a few people in Rangeley during December. But you guys are obviously always welcome to come down for lunch and dinner.
Okay.
But
Anybody have any other questions or anything? So I would entertain a motion for discussion to approve the liquor license renewal for SLJ Family Enterprise, DBA Geo's Family Dining.
Same here.
Who's made the motion?
Me, I was first.
Robbie?
No, I thought you did, Ron.
Nope, I was entertaining the motion. And you seconded, Tim?
Yeah.
So a motion made by Robbie, seconded by Tim. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. I don't have
Thanks so much for your help.
Getting your shopping done faster.
I'm going to do that.
So Sam, I was going to tell you one thing. If you ever decide to bring food, I love your lasagna, so I just thought I'd mention that.
You
So,
can bring me any of it. I like it all.
just kidding, just
We've
kidding.
been going through the lasagna, and let me tell you, my prep cook is not happy with me. So maybe I'll just do a seminar and teach everyone how to make it.
There you go.
Thank you, everyone.
So 14D, discussion and action to approve the certification of the mill levy in the amount of $14,825,410 for budget year 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Todd. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and action to approve Resolution 2024-07, designating a public place for posting meeting notices during calendar year 2025.
Where is that resolution?
Where is
It was in there.
Yeah.
So you guys probably all know, but we'll remind you, we post them on the bulletin board as you come in and then out in the kiosk in the courtyard.
And it was in the packet there somewhere.
Yeah,
Was there an error on it?
no.
No.
I honestly have been through the packet 5 times and didn't find it, but if Robbie knows, that's not uncommon for me, so.
Facts.
He's got it.
Can we,
We got.
I just can we encourage posting it on Facebook? I don't know if,
We can do that. Jeannie posted the whole packet online, so people can go there and read
Right.
those. So, we can put a link on Facebook so that'll take them to the packet.
that's perfect.
Yeah, and this resolution isn't necessarily saying we can't put it other places, just saying this is where we're going to designate. for
That's
sure.
where we
Okay.
must do it.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours prior to the meeting.
So Sam could have seen that if she would have known to look on the packet.
Pardon?
Sam
Yes.
could have seen everything that we saw,
Yes,
the police report and all
yeah,
that.
if she would've just went to the website.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion we approve resolution 2024-07.
Second.
Motion made by Andy, second by Robbie. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and action to approve resolution 2024-08 designating a public place for all public notices during calendar year 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Todd, seconded by Andy. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and action to approve the resolution 2024-09 of the Board of Directors of Rangeley Foundation for public giving, summarizing expenditures and revenues for the Rangeley Foundation for public giving and adopting a budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Robbie, second by Sean. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, H, discussion and action to approve the resolution 2024-10 of the town council of the town of Rangeley summarizing expenditures and revenues for the general fund, water fund, wastewater fund, gas fund, conservation trust fund, housing assistance fund, RDA fund, and Rangeley Development Corporation, and adopting for said funds budgets for fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Todd, second by Sean. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and action to approve the resolution 2024-11 of the Rangeley Housing Authority summarizing expenditures and revenues for the Rangeley Housing Authority, White River Village, and adopting for said authority a budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-11.
Second.
Motion made by Andy, second by Robbie. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. J, discussion and action to approve the 2024 fee schedule as adjusted for revised animal shelters fees.
So these are some of the fees that we talked about in the work session. The ones in red are the ones that we changed. Caitlin and I did a little bit of talking about this. The relinquished fee, we're going to have a range, so it'll be determined based on the dog's size and if they have to be spayed or neuter and if they've had any vaccinations. So even if it's a small dog and they've not had those other items, it could still be the larger amount.
Yeah.
What is the current fee for that?
And I'm sorry, I didn't bring
That's
that
okay.
in here, but
That's
it was
okay.
just a set amount and it was not covering.
Not doing the job.
No, it was nowhere near what it needed to be.
So a question on that is, it's approved the 2024 ski should that be the 2025 fee
Yes,
schedule?
it should, and I have it labeled on here, but
Oh.
we can make that correction to the action item when you make a motion if you want to move forward. Sorry, this was a rough agenda.
There's a lot of resolutions.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 fee schedule with the revision for the revised animal shelter fees.
I will second that.
Who was that? Robbie. Okay, motion made by Todd, second by Robbie for approval of the 2025 fee schedule. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, discussion and action to approve the write-off of uncollectible utility billing accounts closed from 2023-2024 in the amount of $3,189.97. These will be sent to collections for further third-party receivables.
So before we even make this determination on these accounts, we definitely try and use all the resources we have. If they have left town, it's basically just trying to harass them. Many times they turn their phones off and then we're just stuck. There's really not anything we can do without expending a large amount of resources. So this is a much smaller one than we normally do, but these were the accounts and Chelsea, man, she goes after them. She really tries to get them to pay or at least make some kind of payment schedule, but none of these could we contact anyone or find any way to get them to communicate with us.
So it's pretty impressive to have only that much.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And like I said, Chelsea does a really good job of getting right after them if they close their account and trying to call them and keep in contact and not threaten them, but just let them know we will send them to collections if we can't work out some kind of payment schedule.
Lisa, I think we talked about this in years past, but you guys do keep records of this. If these people circle around 10 years later and want to come in and do something.
I mean,
'Cause
we
we have so
have
much
records of
personnel.
this. I mean, if they have come back and we cannot see that, they require them to do the security deposit again, but short of that, there's really nothing in our municipal code that, gives us a whole
Leg
lot more
to stand on.
teeth into the, making sure. A lot of these are renters and they leave rent unpaid. They leave a lot of unpaid bills, so I'm sure Sean.
I just saw
can
one of
attest
them
to
on
it.
there that looks like they'll probably circle around back in Rainsville. one of
Oh,
these
yeah.
days.
Oh, yeah.
I think one of them's
So
still
we do
here.
have these lists.
Are they? Let's pay them trash bill.
Hell no. That's why he's over here sweating. Can't you tell?
If anyone would
It's like,
like
you
to
guys only have
join in our
3,000?
endeavor, we will gladly take assistance.
I'm gonna stop taking my trash. Extra trash.
And we have, I called and harassed the collection people, and they're getting after it too. We've gotten a few bills paid that I didn't expect, so even the small amount that we get, at least it's something.
I'll make a motion we approve the write-offs of uncollectible utility accounts closed in 2023 through 2024 in an amount of $3,189.97 that will be sent to collections for further third-party receivables.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Andy, seconded by Sean. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. L, discussion and action to cancel the December 24th, 2024 meeting and reconvene the board on the regularly scheduled meeting of January 9th.
So moved.
I'll second.
Get on Christmas.
Don't even have to do any discussion on this one, so, no. So a motion made by Robbie, seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then on M, discussion and action to approve a resolution, amending resolution 2024-06 for the Sagewood West Affordable Housing Project.
Did any of you have any questions about my explanation? I know, Robbie, you probably weren't here at the beginning, so we started this, we got Proposition 123, it was land banking program, so we were awarded $40,000 per lot to buy the lots, and then that would help make those homes more affordable. So of course, when they did the appraisal, they were much less than probably what Darren's willing to accept, because obviously when he, put in the infrastructure and everything for those, the value of them probably is much more than that, but that's all they'll appraise at this given point in time, mostly because our housing market's pretty depressed and not much going on. Just going back and forth, we talked to the appraiser many times. He really wasn't willing to budge on that, and that's all that Chaffa and the Colorado Housing Authority would be willing to pay for that. So, in some negotiations with Darren, he really would like to come up and do this project. Both myself and the lawyer felt like they were at least worth $20,000, the lots. So I bickered with him a little bit. He agreed to take $15,000 for it. So I do have budgeted funds in there, and that's part of what that was for, was us participating in that. I don't feel like $3,000 per lot is a large amount for us to participate. I've got other grants I'm gonna try and go for to help with that, to bring those units down to what we need them to get at. So I would just like the town council to approve that for the town to put in $3,000 per lot, which will be $18,000 to add to the land banking program.
So did they give us that money and we now have to write them back, or they're just gonna give us the amount
They
that
don't
they
give it
appraised
to
for?
us, that we have a contract with the lot owner and that money
So-
will go to them. The other funds that are there, I asked if we could carry those over for another project and no. I
We
did
don't
ask
get to
that
use it somewhere
question.
else, okay.
It was a good idea. I agree with you, Sean. I did try to see if they would let us go for another, project, but
Put it
no,
towards
those
the
will
dog
just go
pound.
back into the state.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, second by Robbie. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 15, informational items. Christmas Fest starts tomorrow and goes through Saturday, right? And the parade is Friday?
The parade's been canceled.
Has it?
For
Oh.
lack of participation,
Okay.
much to Jamie's dismay.
Well, I can come and walk down the street if you want me
Get
to.
some- put some
I'll
Christmas
tape some lights on you.
Yeah, there you go. Got it. Okay.
I'll drive behind you in my truck where it's warm.
Scheduled announcements are there. Anybody have anything else for the board?
Yeah, so on the, I don't know that it's, I had to ask about it a long time ago, but it's a good informational item on the taxes in our check register that we pay to the Rio Blanco County. You can explain it well better than I can, Lisa, but
Like,
it's.
how can we write
Yeah,
money
because
back
there's
to them?
$125,000 in there that we're, it looks odd that we're paying the county for
So
taxes.
I'll start back to why they found it. So at one time, they really didn't check the funds that we got in for sales tax. And then I don't remember, it was Baker Hughes, I will just tell you that. They determined that even though the sales were taking place in the town limits, it was for locations outside. And so and we were, I mean, it was decent funds, but, so that's how everything is viewed. So once they started auditing that, now they audit every
All of them?
dime that we get, and, the sales tax, county rep goes through our whole bill and calls them, and so any construction company, I mean, there's been a lot with mine, obviously, that was the
The
huge
big
one.
one last month was a mine purchase, and that,
I mean, and that's just the sales tax on that purchase, so what did you calculate it probably cost?
it was over $1 million
Yeah, so.
piece of equipment
But,
at the mines.
so, and
Wow.
which is in their purview, so basically, we get the funds, but, she goes through and audits everything, and like I said, usually some of the larger ones are out in the county, so.
So it's a pass-through expense, it's not an actual expense of the town, is what I
Correct.
wanted to make the
We
point.
get the money, but they
Most
take it
county.
back.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody understands we're not paying those funds to the county.
Right.
and then that's also subtracted out for the street foundation too.
Yeah, we don't calculate on that.
We take what we paid the county out of that amount.
Perfect, thank you guys.
Anything else? So, do we need to get everybody to sign this?
Yeah, and I also thought you guys could sign those checks.
Yeah. So before you leave, we have here,
Oh, is it bonuses?
and then the bonuses we have here, so we can sign some checks.
I mean,
But
I
if
just-
everybody will sign this, I'll go ahead and,
Yeah, I just like the employees to see that you guys are the ones that, allowed me to do that for them, so.
so who all can sign checks? Sean?
Sean,
Ron,
Andy,
and Tim.
All right, I just keep passing them out. I don't go-
but the
I don't go
letter
behind that.
gets signed by everybody.
See you later.